Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Energy Forecast Show. I'm Julie. Of course, I'm here with my amazing sister, Sophie. How are you, Sophie?
I'm good. Thank you. Hopefully, this is going to be a good week. I'm very hopeful for this one. I think we're stepping away from the difficult first part of the year and entering a more powerful and beautiful one. So hopefully, I'm right.
Hopefully you are. And I'm very interested to see what the cards are going to say, because I do remember that the last full moon in Aries that we just had, you said that it was going to be the last peak of intensity before like calmer energies. But having that said, we have a new moon in Libra, which I think has beautiful energy in it too, but it's square to Pluto. It makes also a grand square if you consider Chiron also being part of that. So I'm curious to see like what the cards are going to pick up on, because I do think there's a lot of beautiful healing potential for that new moon in Libra, but I do also think there's potential disruptions in the energy. And we're also entering into Scorpio season the day after on the 22nd. And also this week we have Neptune retrograde re-entering Pisces for one last dip. So old karma coming back, past karma coming back for us to healing ourselves, healing our relationships. So let's see what the cards have to say about this week, and then we're going to talk more about the astrology.
Okay. Crossfire is the first one.
Okay, starts with a bang.
Angel is the second one. And then we have the fall. And it can be the season, but it could also be a decline or something like that. So we are going to look into that. Let's use the mouse deck. I need positivity.
Interesting.
So Emperor with Crossfire. So that's Mars energy. Three of Pentacles with the card of Angel. That's collaboration. And we have the Eight of Pentacles. So overall, this is an energy that is going to be challenging. But so I would say that it's maybe just because we were already exhausted, because that's the energy in the past, right? The first
We're
energy.
already, I miss that word.
Exhausted.
Exhausted.
So with the Crossfire, it seems that because that's the first card, it's more towards the past. I would say that a lot of people could be having resentment over what happened, tensions that has been very exhausting. And there could be a lot of entanglements with what has happened. But we do have right in the middle, we have teamwork and we have angels. So I think that this is a very karmic lesson that has to be learned. And it's very difficult to go against that lesson at this time. If you really want to make it better for yourself, it is going to be to work with your teams, with universe, with what is the biggest plan here at play, and to not go into ego and to not basically just try to keep every resources to yourself or to promote your own basically you have to be without ego. You have to think about others, because there is something bigger at play, and you could be very limited in the positive outcome if you just try to stay as is and to not grow in it. Then we have the fall, and we have the Eight of Pentacles. So again, that idea of this lesson that you're learning, and you're going to be able to practice something new during the fall season. So in the next few months, no matter where you are in the world, even if for you right now it's the spring and not the fall, it's the same. It's the energy that is in place. It is going to be about something has shifted in your life and you can no longer unsee it. You have to work with the energy in place to get to a better place, and you have to learn something and to keep practicing it to get better at it. So It is very much, I would say, the influence of Saturn, because it asks you to keep something and to work at something and to keep your commitment and your discipline into something. We do have Mars in the past because we have the Emperor and Crossfire. So that for me is Mars. And we can see that there is this beautiful energy of angel. So that could be Charon or Venus that is there to help and to support you in this. But overall, it's not going to be just, okay, I get it, and it's going to go away. You're going to have to prove that you know it, and you're going to have to keep knowing it and practicing it for a moment. Last thing I want to say is that the effect is very profound for everybody. Those who don't want to do this are going to have consequences in their lives, losing people in their lives. Relationship can fall apart, all types, family, friends, partners, all types, because we do have to work on something.
Yeah, I think it's many things at the same time. And I briefly mentioned that Neptune retrograde is re-entering the sign of Pisces for another, let's say, tour, farewell tour. But Neptune is a planet of karma, of the past, of healing. And it's like Pisces also, because it rules the sign of Pisces. So we're like going back into fixing some past karma, or healing a lot of our own psyche, of maybe past life traumas, any kind of traumas from the past that we've accumulated, or emotions that were stuck. Plus, it's Scorpio season. So the season of transformation, of healing, also of letting go. So, and you were talking also about relationships, which makes sense with the new moon in Libra. So I think this is like the perfect season and week to be diving into yourself, into understanding things for yourself. And before I talk about astrology, I think we have a new promo here, which is going to be for a very limited time. And this is going to be the last time in 2025 that we do a promo on consultations with Sophie. So do make sure you take advantage of that. So we created that especially for Scorpio season, because this is the season to go within, to be changing, transforming yourself, to be the best version of yourself, to be letting go, healing the past, healing yourself. So we think this is the best time to be asking questions, looking for guidance, especially with mystical stuff like tarot cards, oracle cards. And Sophie, you are an amazing oracle. So this promo is going to be 20% off for 6 days only. So from today until this Sunday, October 26th, it's valid on the 30-minute pre-recorded video that Sophie sends you when you book that reading. And you can, of course, ask any question you'd like Sophie to answer during this pre-recorded. So Sophie, anything you'd like to add to that?
I think you said it very beautifully. So this is a season of change, transformation. So don't hesitate to ask me anything about past lives, about the root of a problem, a karma, a connection. This is a time to really detach from limitation and to detach from limiting belief. So it is extremely powerful time, and use it so that you are able to move forward in your life. We know that 2026 is going to be a year 1, so brand new beginning. Yeah. We are in a year 9. Yeah. The ending seasons, the season of Scorpio is also death and rebirth. So this is double the energy of letting go to be able to move forward in the next year.
I love that. And also when you were talking, I was thinking also about changing soul contracts, or changing our own vows or contracts, maybe very unconsciously, that we hold in order to reprogram ourselves and to be ready for that year 1. So this is going to be a 6 days only. And for the holidays, we're prepping other promos, but not for the consultation. So do make sure you hop on the occasion, and there's not going to be any discount codes for this particular promo. The discount is already there when you select the 30-minute pre-recorded. So I'll put the link down below. Do make sure you take advantage of that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about astrology. So, a very eventful week we're having. So today we're the 20th. We have the exact conjunction between Mercury and Mars in Scorpio. So you were talking about Mars with the Emperor card. And with Mars in Scorpio, it's at home in a sign of Scorpio. Again, Mars is still in Scorpio. So we have this drive to really focus our energy, almost like an obsessive type of energy, but it can very, very much be used for good also to really focus or channel our energy into one thing, one project. But Mercury is also there. And it's going to make us like maybe overthink almost, or have like this very focused mental focus on one thing. And then the day after, we're having the main, I would say, main event, or no, co-main event of the week. We have the new moon in Libra, which I made a slide for you guys. Very interesting one because it's making a grand square. It's squaring Pluto, but also there's beautiful aspects with the emotions. We have a water grand trine. And then the next day, we have Neptune retrograde that enters the sign of Pisces, plus the sun enters Scorpio for 1 month. So we're diving into Scorpio season officially on the 22nd. And so I think this is going to be, and I put a lot of red lights here on this week. So there's going to be a lot of tension, but I do believe there is a potential for using this tension into healing and moving a lot of energy in a very positive way. So let's look at the new moon in Libra, which is going to be on Tuesday, the 21st. So it's in the morning, and yes, it does square Pluto's. And whenever we have a lunation that makes a harsh aspect to Pluto, especially a square or an opposition, it talks about drastic endings and new beginnings. And in what sector? Because it's in Libra, well, relationships. So it's very likely that we're going to have triggers coming from other people to look at our own repressed emotions or wounds, childhood wounds. And it's made and it's orchestrated in order for us to look inside of us and to change things that are no longer needed for us to react, or it's time for us to look at those wounds. So there's going to be lots of triggers, I believe, coming from the outside. And a grand square is pretty much the aspect that is the toughest in astrology. And so we have the sun, the moon together, and I'll show you on the chart so it's more visual. So the sun and the moon are together because it's a new moon, and they're opposite to Chiron, which is the planet of healing, and then making a square to Pluto here on this side, and on the other side to Jupiter. So Jupiter is kind of helping the whole thing because it's not a bad planet, and plus it's in the sign of Cancer, so it's really positive and it's exalted in that sign. But all of that to say that whenever we have a grand square, it means like we cannot continue doing things the same way. Things have to change. We have to make decisions and things have to change. So any kind of trigger that will pop during this or around this new moon is meant for you to look what's at the core of this, what wounds lie at the core of this. So it's an opportunity to heal hidden parts of ourselves and start anew. Powerful new beginnings if we are willing to look at ourselves through the mirror, because others provide a mirror to ourselves to what kind of elements are in our own blind side. So Libra is the sign of the mirror of the other. And there are probably going to be important choices to make when it comes to relationships. And then on the positive, because yes, there is positive about that, we have a water grand trine with Mars, Mercury, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Mercury that are together right here in a sign of Scorpio. And then we have Jupiter again in a water sign, and also we have Saturn there. So this is the positive of that, meaning that emotions will flow. We're probably going to maybe have a lot of those emotions, but they're going to help us understand and move the energy and understand what is going on. And there could be blessings and emotionally fulfilling opportunities that come in that also require us to make a choice, to choose them. But we're going to have the support of the universe. And I believe you had the angels card, so I love that. Because Jupiter is there in Cancer and being part of both aspects, the square, but also it's part of the problem and it's also part of the solution. So the universe is helping us. And it's a great time to reinvent ourselves, to refocus our energy, to be in the flow. And of course, we're talking also about the conjunction between Mercury and Mars. And the next day, it's going to be Scorpio season. So there's a lot of that scorpionic energy that's being part of that Libra new moon, allowing us to have this laser focus energy to really focus in on what truly matters for us, what connections do we want to heal, or what parts of ourselves do we want to heal. We're going to have more passion, more inspiration. That's also the positive side of Pluto. And passion projects, collaborations. So there is definitely positive in that new moon, but it's going to probably come also with a dose of, let's say, disruptions. Let's just say that. And as I said earlier, the day after the new moon, let me show you again the calendar so you can follow with me. So this is on the 21st, but of course, we're going to feel it probably all week. And on Wednesday, the 22nd, Neptune dips back into Pisces with Scorpio season starting. So this is going to be a very important date when there's going to be an intense process of transformation. And Pluto just turned direct recently. So needing us to look at the past, heal stuff, heal part of ourselves, look at what's inside of us. So this kind of really starts with a bang, this death and rebirth transformation season, also with Neptune being there. And you mentioned also we're in a 9 years. So it's important that we take the time to do that, to invest in ourselves, invest in our own healing. And then we, and especially in February, when Neptune and Saturn are going to move out of the sign of Pisces and they're going to step into Aries for good, then it's like a totally new energy of having a fresh new start. So do take advantage of this week and look what comes up for you. And thank you so much, Sophie. I think, again, the astrology and the tarot work very well together. Have an amazing week, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye, everyone.